Hazak u'baruch. Good morning, Morai v'Rabotai. Be'ez Hashem, Mincha is going to be 4:35. Please be on time. And the learning today is going to be Leilui Nishmat Rivka Bat Miriam, sponsored by Rabbi Avishai Meir. Hazak u'baruch. Further sponsorships, please contact Rabbi Babayev. The halacha that we were discussing yesterday, which is the halacha of asiyat ohel arai, to make a permanent canopy or a temporary canopy, that the isur is potentially a Torah violation if it's permanent, or temporary makes it a rabbinic violation. That same halacha applies when you're taking something down. So anything you're not allowed to put up, you're also not allowed to take down. Just like there's a prohibition called binyan, there's also a prohibition called stira, which is the destroying. The building and the destroying are two separate melachot. So it's very correlated, because whatever is not allowed to be built is also not allowed to be destroyed. So if there is already a pre-existing canopy, you would not be able to remove that canopy on Shabbat, even though it's not assisting or aiding anything. But I just want to remove it. I'm not planning on using it. I'm just removing it. That in itself would be a violation. Now, it is important to note that walls is not included in the prohibition. So if a person takes curtains, for example, and he finds a way to hook them onto poles, not to make a roof, but just to make walls, that is not a problem of ohel arai. And the reason why we don't consider that to be an issue of making a temporary fixture is because the main part of a tent is the roof, is the protection over the head of the person. So that's what's considered the melacha, and not making walls. When is making walls going to be a problem? Obviously, if you're making like actual construction, that's going to be an issue. But we're talking about makeshift. We're not talking about making something very construction. But making a wall would be an issue is if it's called mechitza hamateret. Mechitza hamateret means a mechitza, a wall that actually, a partition is a better word to use, a partition that permits. What's an example of partition that permits? A partition that permits could be in terms of Ilchot Shabbat to make eruv. That's considered a partition that permits. Or, for example, when you have a sukkah and it has two walls and you want to make a third wall, so the sukkah becomes permissible, that type of a partition is asur to do on Shabbat. But if he's just doing it for tzniut purposes, he wants privacy. It's a privacy curtain, so he maybe ties it to poles or to something like that. That would not be prohibited to do on Shabbat. And we'll get into a little bit more details about those halachot tomorrow. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.